Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rocket Chiro podcast. This is the business and marketing podcast for chiropractors. My name's Jerry. I'm your host. I'm a former chiropractor. I help chiropractors now with websites and local search. I help new chiropractors get started, stuck chiropractors get unstuck, and I host this little podcast. Today we're going to talk about SEO and AI search advice that you can get on TikTok and Twitter. Oh, it's not Twitter anymore, right? It's X, Instagram. It seems like anybody and everybody with a mic and a camera is giving out advice. And I have a beef with some of this advice, and I'll tell you my biggest issue with it, even if it's really good advice. So I'm going to tell you that here on this episode. Before I get into that, I do want to say if you want help with your website or local search, you can reach out to me through Rocket Chiro. If you'd like me to just look at your stuff and give you my 2 cents completely free, you can request a website and SEO review. If you want to go beyond the podcast, you just want some additional advice and help, you want access to me, check out my Next Step program. It's a great place for chiropractors who are getting started or chiropractors who are feeling a little frustrated and stuck and overwhelmed with the business and marketing side of a practice. So all that can be found at rocketchiro.com. All right. So, something that I've learned over the years is I've learned that anytime somebody takes something that's complicated or complex and they try to boil it down by starting a sentence with all you have to do is, it's sort of like being successful as a chiropractor or SEO, like all kinds of things that actually are difficult. They're difficult. Being successful is difficult. Making money is difficult. And when somebody boils it down to like all you have to do is, they're usually either selling you something, so like their program is the solution to your problem, or they're lying to you, which I think some people do that just because they like the attention or they like to see the world burn, as they said in the Batman movie. The other possibility is they're ignorant. There are a lot of people that don't actually have any idea what they're talking about, and they're more than happy to give advice. I try not to do that. I don't know everything. I make plenty of mistakes all the time. Just ask my wife. And so, but there are people out there that have no idea what they're talking about, but they're really, really quick to want you to know how smart they are. And those are all issues that you can run into when you're seeing people on X and Instagram, TikTok giving advice. But that's not even my biggest complaint, because I think if you develop a little bit of discernment, you can kind of see that that might be a little fishy. The whole idea, if it's too good to be true, it might be. Like, I think that principle applies to kind of all that we're talking about here. But the thing that bothers me more than anything is even if you get really, really good advice, like great advice, like I have people that send me clips all the time, and a lot of it is like, okay, yeah, that's good advice. That's perfectly normal. Like I agree with most of what the person said. The issue is that they always give that advice out of context. It's like giving advice in a vacuum, like as if nobody else around you exists. And that's a problem because it messes with your expectations. If somebody gives you the most amazing advice about SEO or AI or whatever, and you follow it to a T, there's no guarantee that you're going to rank well. Because it all depends on the world that you live. The ecosystem in which your office exists has a tremendous amount of influence on whether you're going to rank well or not. And the way you should think about it is this, is that when you rank well in AI or in Google, it's because you have built trust with that platform. Those platforms, their purpose is to give you the best possible answer to the question that you ask. Like, there's no benefit and upside to them giving you a bad answer. And if the goal is to give the best answer, when someone in your local area is searching chiropractor near me or best chiropractor, pediatric chiropractor, who can help me with my headaches as a chiropractor, whatever that question is, it doesn't benefit AI or Google to give a bad answer. So if they're trying to give the best possible answer, what that means is that Google and AI has scoured the internet and has dug through all of this data and all this information to figure out who it trusts. Who can I refer to that's going to have the best potential experience based on this question? And you and I build trust through like conversations and eye contact and experiences and all kinds of different ways. AI and Google build it through data, but it's the same idea. And in the same way that if your best friend was a contractor and you needed contracting help, you're not going to go around and like, even if your neighbor is like, oh, I got a guy, and you're like, that's okay, that's fine. Like, my best friend's a contractor and he's really good at what he does. Well, I'm not even going to talk to your guy. Why would I talk to your guy? I got a guy. Like, my brother does auto detailing. He's down in Georgia. If you're in the Blairsville area, shout out to Car Armor. He does auto detailing, ceramic coat. He's starting to do some other stuff too, and he's really good at it. Like, he's really good at it. And if I was in the Blairsville area and I was wanting my car detailed, I don't need to look around. I got a guy. I got a really good relationship with a guy, and not only do I have a good relationship with him and I like him, but he does good work. And some other person could like open up another shop and they could do all the right things and say all the right things and do all the right things, and they might be amazing. They could be more amazing than my brother. But I have a relationship with him, and unless that goes south, or this other person develops a relationship with me over an extended period of time where I'm like, I'll give him a shot, it's just not going to happen. And if you think about Google in that context, the problem with chiropractors who are in a difficult situation where you're in a high competitive market is that if there's chiropractors around you who have lots of reviews and they've been doing the ABCs of SEO and AI and they've been doing it for years, and you come in and you're like, hey, I'm going to start taking this TikTok advice that I got. That's really great advice. And I'm going to start ranking first the next month. No, you're not. I'm going to start ranking first the next 6 months. No, you're not. Because not only do you have to build trust with these platforms, you have to build trust with these platforms that are more trust than the people that are currently there. It's exactly like I just talked about with humans and with my brother. Like, you are doing something that is very, very difficult. And I don't think that means you should punt on SEO and AI. What I think that means is you should make decisions with the environment in which you're living in. Take that into consideration. If you are in a non-competitive market, that might be a great opportunity for you to go full steam ahead, spend that money, spend extra money on it because you want to get to the top, you want to dominate the space, and there's the opportunity to do that. And once you're there, you're going to be the king of the hill and it's going to be hard to knock you off. Great. Those places are fewer and far between. Every single day that passes, they're harder to find, but they are still around. There are low competitive areas. One of the easiest ways that you can check is if you look around and look at reviews. Reviews are just a pretty good tell. If you're in an area and the top chiropractors in your area have, 900, 1,000 reviews or more, that's tough. 500, 600 reviews, that's tough. Those are high numbers. If you're in an area where the top chiropractors in your area have 100 or 150 reviews, that's weak sauce, man. That's not tough. Like, that's not a difficult environment. Now, that's not the only thing that plays a factor in where you show up in search, but it's a pretty good tell. It's a pretty good indicator. If we're thinking about Google and AI building trust and trusting someone, how much, like, it's a pretty good metric to say like, oh, this person has 1,000 different people that have vouched for their experience with them. That's a pretty good trust metric, which is why those things are important. So if you're in an area where you're opening up and it's like, man, you got 30 or 40 reviews and everybody else around you has 500 or 600, I think that that's probably not the time to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month on SEO, unless you have if you have a trust fund and you can just, throw money at that for the next couple of years and not worry about getting a return on investment, perfectly fine. But that's not how chiropractors operate. Most chiropractors don't have $2,000 or $3,000 to spend on marketing ever, let alone right out of the gate. So if you're in a situation where it's a highly competitive market and you're getting started, you have to play the long game. And that doesn't mean you should punt on everything. It just means you have to be smart about it. Focus on getting reviews, focus on closing that gap. Do the little things that matter. Build relationships within your community. Get some local backlinks because you're involved with organizations and you're doing content stuff with other people in your area. There's different things that you can do to build trust and build authority within your local area that aren't going to break the bank. Paying for SEO, especially really good SEO, is expensive. And if you're at the top of the pile, especially, I see this occasionally where someone is like, man, you got 300 reviews. Everybody else around you has 200 or 150. Like, you're doing better than most people in your area and you're not benefiting from that. That probably means you definitely have the opportunity to be the king of the hill if you just did ABC like that. Those are also the people that should spend money on SEO. So there are people that absolutely should be spending money on SEO and AI search and all of that stuff. But it's when you're in a low competition environment, or you're already doing well, then you stay there, or you have the potential to do well, but nobody's been doing the stuff that they should be doing. And you could go from, hey, I'm not doing great, but I have a good foundation, to I'm doing great. Those people jump up quickly. And I think reviews are just an easy way to kind of get an idea of what your environment looks like. So that's what I just want you to be aware of. I just want you to be aware of the fact that even if you get the best advice in the world, it only works well if the opportunity is there for it to work well. It's like trying to light a fire. You know, it's been a long time since I've gone camping, because the last time I went camping, I woke up in about 4 inches of water because I was too stupid to put my tent. I was tent camping and I was too stupid to put my tent on a high part of the ground. I put it on a low part of the ground, and it rained that night and I woke up with my pillow floating. And that morning we still tried to light a fire, which we eventually did get going. But do you know how hard it is to light a fire with wet wood while it's raining? It's really hard. And that's sort of what we're talking about here, is that I could give you the best advice in the world about lighting a fire, but if the environment that you're in is just a damp, wet place, maybe waiting is the right thing to do. Maybe doing some things to improve your environment so that later when you try to light a fire, then it makes more sense. And that's sort of what we're talking about here. So just be honest. And I don't think that most of the people that do SEO for chiropractors are honest with chiropractors. And I don't think that, especially these big companies that work with tons of chiropractors, they'll gladly upsell you an SEO package. They'll gladly take another $500,000, $700,000 from you per month, telling you that SEO is important and AI is important and they're going to help you with it. And there may be some truth to what they're saying. I'm not saying they're being dishonest. I'm telling you that they're giving you information out of context. And it's your responsibility to know the context in which you exist. Because you may be better off taking that $700, $1,000, $1,500 instead of throwing it at SEO in a bad environment. You throw it in a different direction, get some momentum going, build some authority within your local area, and then later you might consider doing it. Or you may not. It wasn't that long ago, and I know this makes me sound like a dinosaur, but when I first got into practice, like, SEO wasn't a thing. A lot of chiropractors didn't have websites. I didn't have a website for the first couple of years, or first year or two that I was in practice. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly when I got my first website, but it wasn't right away. One of the things that was normal back then was the yellow pages. Now, the thing you have to understand about the yellow pages, for those of you who don't know, is that the yellow pages, the rich were rich and everybody else was just nothing. Like, if you were willing to spend the massive amount of money on the yellow pages and have a full page ad and kind of do the whole thing, you could probably get something from the yellow pages. But a lot of us weren't in a situation where we could do that. And that's sort of what's happening with SEO and AI search now, is like the rich are getting richer. And I'm not doing this podcast to make it depressing for anyone. I'm just doing it to let you know that it might be possible that maybe right now, like, the money you're going to spend in marketing is better spent somewhere else and not on that. Do the free stuff, do the easy stuff, do the stuff that's, the getting the reviews and stuff like that doesn't cost you much. Do that stuff with the potential of having a better environment in the future. But don't go throwing money down a pit. And I've told a lot of people over the years that have reached out to me and asked me for I want to give you this money and I want you to do SEO for me. I've told people, like, I don't think it's your thing. Now, some of those people could very well have gone to these big box chiropractic website companies and they would have been like, yeah, sure, we could do it. And they'll gladly take your money. And you'll just throw the money down the toilet for the next year and a half, 2 years, until you find out that it's not a good idea. So I say all this because one of my objectives for this podcast is to help you guys become better leaders, to help you guys become better thinkers. And if you understand the environment that you're in, you understand the difficulties, the pros and cons, you can make better decisions. You may make a different decision than I would make, which is perfectly fine. It's not my practice. It's your practice. It's your life. It's your decision. But when you take advice out of context, and when you take advice out of the environment in which you have to perform it, that's a problem. And when you take your expectations minus reality, that's where you get disappointment. And being a successful chiropractor is difficult enough without ridiculously unrealistic expectations. And when people are out there telling you all you have to do is just do this, no big deal, you'll rank first. When they make these things sound easy, they're giving you expectations that's probably going to be frustrating in the long run. So that's my advice. Something to think about, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the podcast with other chiropractors. I do appreciate it. If you haven't left a review for the podcast or for Rocket Chiro, you can do that either in iTunes or that's not iTunes. It's Apple Podcasts. Jeez Louise, how old am I? Or you could leave a review for Rocket Chiro on Google. If you go to rocketchiro.com, the link is in the footer. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys on the next episode. See ya.